Christmas! Engage. I absolutely love Christmas. It is one of my favorite holidays of the year, but sometimes we get so overwhelmed with the season that we kind of forget not only the reason of the season, but why we do certain things. Why do we put oversized socks by our fireplace? Who the actual heck is that guy in the big red suit? Why do we stick boxes underneath this indoor tree? Why do we do these things? And that, I'm going to explore a little bit. I am in no way a scholar, but I do know a few things. So, here we go. Christmas has been around for over 1700 years. That's a long time. Well, where did it come from? What is this holiday? Christmas got its name from Christmas, the early church's celebration of the birth of Christ. That would happen sometime in December of the calendar year. But then there were also these big pagan celebrations, celebrating the god of the sun for, I guess, coming back to them after the long days of winter. And I know how much we love to celebrate the sun, but the Christians decided to combine those holidays and make this big epic celebration that we now know is Christmas. But where the heck does Saint Nick fit in? Well, Saint Nick was kind of a Robin Hood priest in Europe. He didn't really steal, but he gave a lot of money to the poor. One tale that is told of 3 young daughters who needed a dowry to get married, but they were too poor to afford one. Good old Saint Nicholas, he actually gave them some small sacks of gold in order to pay for their dowry, and he threw them through their window, and as the story goes, they landed in the stockings that they had hung by the chimney with care to dry them because they were wet and cold. Like, that's actually why we put things by the fire, people. And the story became so popular with people that it became kind of a tradition before Christmas to set up stockings by the chimney. As was the custom in that day, bishops wore red. For Northern Europeans, it didn't make any sense for him to be just walking around in his robe. He would freeze to death. So they added the red hat lined with white fur and his robe also lined with white fur. And that was the St. Nicholas outfit. But where does the name Santa Claus come from? This tale was especially popular in Northern Europe. He was called Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas, Sinterklaas, Sinterklaas. Santa Claus, that's where the name comes from. So Santa Claus is actually jolly old St. Nicholas. Who knew? But what about the Christmas tree? Well, that tradition, my dear friend, is another story of a Christian from Europe. Now, there are many different stories of how the Christmas tree came to be, but the most common one is one of a missionary to Germany. He came there to convert the pagan tribes to Christianity. When he got there, he saw that there's this group of people worshipping the mighty oak Thor. Yes, their god Thor. You know what? We'll just leave this image here. And of course, they were very afraid of this tree. They loved it, but they were also like, oh, it could really hurt us. So they started making sacrifices. Children sacrifices. And obviously our missionary was like, that's not good. Guys, it's just a tree. Thor, our god Thor, he is the best, and if you chop him down, dire consequences will happen. And so our good old missionary just took an axe and chopped it down. There goes Thor. Once he chopped down the tree, and obviously nothing happened, he pointed to a small fir growing at the base of it. He said, let this be a symbol of your new God. You build your homes with it. Let Christ be the center of your household. Its leaves are evergreen. Let Christ be everlasting in your lives. It's green, and even in the darkest days, Christ will be your everlasting light. I think that's just really beautiful. And there are many other different stories of how decorating them came to be, but of course it got popularized, like many things, by the Queen. Yep. Here she is standing in front of one, and all of a sudden it became the craze. And apart from all the traditions that we have as a society that have kind of been built on over the years, every community, every church, every school, every home has some sort of Christmas tradition. Like, for example, the one at my school is to make an epic assembly. I will post a link once it's there because you should check it out, and I probably had a part helping in it. But anyways, my family, we're a weird family. Let's just say that. We watch this documentary every year. It's called The Star of Bethlehem. It is phenomenal. It'll blow your mind on so many levels. Another tradition we have is to eat ethnic food every Christmas Eve. So we kind of have a different theme every year. One year was Chinese, one year it was German food, another year we did Ukrainian, another year we did camping food, so we like made s'mores and hot dogs. But yeah, just having like, I don't know, Italian or something on Christmas Eve is really fun. And we've been doing that for, I don't know, like 15 years. But the most important and longest standing Brownlee tradition is to make marvins. To show you how to do that, I'm gonna need a little help. You will need some orange juice and some ginger ale.
Preferably Canada Dry.
Eggnog.
Eggnog. A Marvin holding receptacle and the Marvin stirring utensil.
Take your cup and pour half a glass of eggnog into it.
The tendency is to overdo it because eggnog.
But no. And then you take a quarter of your orange juice. And then, to top it off,
this gives it the kick.
And you stir it.
Yes, with vigor. Tastes like Christmas.
So tell us about the Marvin.
A long time ago, Lynn and I were at a Christmas party. There was a guy there, and he said, hey, do you want to have this Christmas drink that I make? What is it? And he's like, eggnog, orange juice, and ginger ale. But then we tried it. I've been transported into new dimensions of Christmassy goodness. From then on, we call it the Marvin.
So there you have it. That's how to make a Marvin. It sounds gross and disgusting, but it's great. You don't know what you're missing! And we drink that every year when we decorate the tree, and it's just like, the taste of that, oh, Christmas! Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about Christmas traditions, but if you found this video funny, or informative, or cheer-giving, just give me a big thumbs up, but if I somewhat offended you in any way, give me a thumbs down so I know never to make content like this ever again so you don't have to see it. If you want to subscribe and you haven't already, you can click the button right here, and I'm going to link you to my last video here. And, you know, if you want to see a special mystery Christmas video, you can click on the little Christmas present right here. I love you so, so much, and I'll see you later. Bye! I forgot what I was going to say.